Today we're going to talk about neighborhood services, which is a division of the Hot Springs Planning and Development Department. Specifically, we're going to talk about being good neighbors. And being a neighbor involves a relationship with the people around us. It also means that there's a relationship between the people in neighborhood services and the people that they serve. And today with me is Tracy Daves as well as Aaron Graulau, who are both inspectors with neighborhood services. Welcome to both of you this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad
I know we were going to do an outside setting because that's where you live every day. That's where you are driving around in your zones, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But because of the rain, we're inside. And we're going to talk about what the neighborhood services inspectors do on a daily basis. Tracy, we know that you're about enforcing codes for neighborhoods. So can you tell us a little bit about why is there a need to enforce neighborhood codes?
Well, it's essential to maintain and enhance the quality of life in our communities. And the purpose of code enforcement is to ensure community standards are applied to both residential and commercial properties, therefore promoting health, safety, and the general welfare of the public. It's all about clean and safe neighborhoods, and code enforcement is about preservation and enhancement of property.
Excellent. Again, something that people aren't really aware of. Aaron, talk to us a little bit about the way that you work every day.
Okay. Well, the city has been divided into 5 zones, and each zone is somewhat unique based on some of the challenges they present. Some areas are historic, some areas may involve waterfront, some areas may have a higher number of rental properties. The 5 inspectors are all embedded deeply within those areas, and we spend our entire day working those areas. And what it allows us to do is to develop relationships with the residents, with property owners, and commercial property managers as well.
Very good. So you're talking about developing relationships because it's your beat, similar to a police officer, in that you visit the same area each day, right?
Sure.
Correct.
And it gives us the opportunity to notice small changes.
Yes, small changes. Very good. And I think what people don't realize is that you're not just reacting to a phone call, perhaps, about a property or a code issue. You're being more proactive about your daily business,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
We do.
So can you tell us a little bit more about how you are proactive in your area?
So day in, day out, as we're driving through the community, we perform surveys. And if we see violations within the community, we address all those violations that are similar within eyeshot. So I need people to understand that this isn't something that we're singling them out or that this is selective enforcement. If we see 4 or 5 houses with the same type violation within that neighborhood, we're going to make sure that we address all of those at the same time.
That takes somebody with keen observation indeed. And each of the inspectors, you talked about the neighborhoods having their own individual qualities, but so do the inspectors themselves and in the way they interact with the public. So Tracy, if you see an issue and you approach a neighbor, how do you typically do that?
I approach the neighbor, knock on the door, hopefully they will come to the door, and I ask for their help so I can walk around the property, show them the violations, and give them resources as to how they might be able to accomplish that.
Okay, so what kind of resources are you talking about that they might need help with?
Say, for instance, you have an elderly person. Maybe they can't get out and mow their grass. There are local churches that can assist, a friend, a neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, neighbors are always willing to help folks. All you've got to do is ask, because most people are willing to help if you ask them.
Yes.
So what you both are talking about is offering potential solutions and trying to help the neighbor with problem solving their own issues.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. I
Okay.
mean, we're here to help with compliance, not to hinder their pathway.
There are obviously prevalent neighborhood issues that occur as you enter your neighborhoods every day. What is the single biggest issue that rises to the top, Aaron?
A lot of it varies seasonally. right now what we're dealing with the most of is high grass. And a lot of people think that high grass is just an aesthetic issue, but there is a health and safety side of it. High grass becomes an attraction for vermin, which in turn can be an attractant to snakes. And last but not least, you've got insects. Tick-borne diseases are quite prevalent, and the ticks like the high grass. Also, depending on the time of the year, the high grass can result in a fire hazard. If you've got a vacant lot or something like that that's close to an occupied dwelling, it can be a
Right.
concern.
Any fighter will tell you that that high grass presents fuel around your home.
Absolutely.
Certainly.
That can be consumed and threaten your own residents. Okay, so we talked about high grass as the number one. What other issues do you frequently encounter?
I would say that trash and debris come in second. And once again, aside from being unsightly and unsanitary, they can provide harborage for vermin, which and then becomes an attractant to snakes.
Okay, and what about vehicles? Is that a big issue?
It is a very big issue, Terry. I was about to touch on that. So, Title 17 of the Hot Springs Code states what the definition of an operable vehicle is. And an operable vehicle is a vehicle that has all of its parts, has a current license plate, and is capable of starting and moving backwards and forwards under its own power at the request of the inspector.
I see. So those are your top three, and you may actually ask somebody to get their vehicle going so you can see if it's inoperable or not.
Yes,
Absolutely.
there are some
Yes.
situations where we need to do that.
Right. Okay, so we talked about some of the top issues. Tracy, can you tell us a bit about another big issue in our community as far as people who don't live in town but may own property here?
Correct. We have a lot of out-of-state property owners.
Mhm.
We also have, I am finding that there are properties that are going into a foreclosure and reverse mortgages. And just want the citizens to understand that we are working those properties, and a lot of times we have to contact financial institutions, we have to contact the owners themselves. They'll let us know that, oh, my property's gone into foreclosure or reverse mortgage. You know, we ask that people work with us on those, because those are timely manners that take a while to resolve.
And so someone lodges a complaint perhaps about a property in their neighborhood, they may not realize that
Correct.
if it's a out-of-town owner involved,
Yes.
those complaints can take a while to work through the system.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a legality process that we have to go through.
Mhm.
We have to contact the owner, we have to send letters certified mail. So it's a time-consuming process.
What about residents that just have difficulty, as you said before, perhaps mowing their grass, etc.? You suggest ways for them to get help, get outside help.
Correct. There are city services that are offered. We have CAPS, which is Clean Attractive Property Service. We have Spring Fling. We have hazardous household waste recycling. We have curbside recycling, which is the Earth Angel program. We have drop-off locations. There's a plethora of services that the city offers our citizens, and if they're ever wonder how to get to those, you can go to cityhs.net and search on those services.
Especially the solid waste department, which you work closely with,
Yes.
it is always intent on offering as many options as possible for residents to dispose of items that may clutter up their residences and perhaps precipitate a complaint.
Correct.
Okay.
They're huge help for us.
And for those who don't know, we mentioned CAPS, which is Clean Attractive Property Service, means that city residents, for free, can make an appointment to have a knuckle boom truck come and pick up heavy, bulky items from the curb.
Correct. And you
Curbside
get 2
service.
of those for free, up
Yes.
to 1 ton each.
And Spring Fling is a citywide cleanup where dumpsters are placed in all 6 city districts. Again, a great way to get rid of big, heavy, bulky items.
Correct.
So we have lots of options there. How can residents help participate in you getting to do your job better? Give us some ideas.
By all means, call us. If we leave a door knocker, if we send you a letter, it's imperative for citizens to contact us. That way, we can give you more descriptive details of your violations of your property, means to help you resolve those. You might have life circumstances that, you need more time to take care of those. We're here to help and not hinder your property compliance. Any way that we can help, we want to be proactive and help our citizens.
So if you receive a knock on the door, talk with the person that has come to visit you to try to help solve those problems at the lowest possible level.
Correct.
Before it rises to a citation,
Right.
perhaps.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's the last thing we want to do is issue citations. Our main goal is compliance of property.
Very good. Well, you can see that Neighborhood Services, as well as all the other departments in the city, is trying to be understanding of circumstances that may affect you and your family, that make it difficult to follow city code, or to be able to measure up to other standards. We want to work with you, but we can't unless we know what the problem is.
Absolutely, yes.
Correct.
Oh, very good. Aaron, as we wrap up, do you have any further comments to make?
I just want to reiterate what Tracy said. Citations are the last resource for us. We want to do everything that we can to get people to come into compliance voluntarily. And one of the things that we value is that by developing partnerships within the community, we're able to make a more attractive city to live in. And that involves neighborhood services, other city departments, the police department, and the court system. And most people want to do the right thing if given the opportunity and a clear explanation. Most people will.
So what you're both saying is most people want to do the right thing,
Absolutely.
I believe so.
I believe so.
and you can help facilitate that.
Yes.
Yes, we do everything that we can to do.
Very good. Well, thanks for giving us a bit of an inside look at code enforcement, which is what neighborhood services inspectors implement every day in neighborhoods around you. We use partnerships to make that happen, just as Aaron described, and we want to partner with you for a cleaner, safer Hot Springs. So the next time that you see a neighborhood inspector in your neighborhood, welcome them, because they want to help you in your neighborhood. We want Hot Springs to be the best that it can be.
Yes.
Thank you both for joining us today, and
Thank you.
next week we'll
Thank
bring
you.
you more city news.